What's up YouTube, Zero here, and today I have an amazing Alolan Exeggutor and Meowscarada deck in Pokemon TCG Pocket. In this video, I'll go over the deck build that you need to build this amazing deck that you can see on the left hand side of the screen. I'll talk about each of the individual cards and I'll talk about why each of them play very well with each other. Before I get into it, I do want to say if you do enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Pokemon TCG content. I do a bunch of other video games, so feel free to check those out as well. Without further ado, let's talk about this deck build. Let's talk about the 2 stars of this deck, Alolan Exeggutor and Meowscarada. So Alolan Exeggutor is a new card that just dropped in the Celestial Guardians packs that just released a few days ago. This is going to be in the Celestial Guardians Lunala pack, so be on the lookout if you do want this card. Check out that Lunala pack. And what it's going to do is Tropical Hammer for 3 energy, 1 grass, and 2 colorless. Deals 150 damage, but there's a caveat. You have to flip a coin. If the coin is heads, you deal 150 damage. If the coin is tails, you deal nothing. So of course, this deck is gonna be a gambler's deck. You're gonna be putting a lot of faith into Alolan Exeggutor. However, it is not an EX Pokemon, so it's not a huge deal if it does get KO'd because you're only losing 1 point. So I like to take the risk because a coin flip is a 50-50. According to the law of large numbers, 50% of the times you're going to get heads, 50% of the times you're going to get tails. 150 damage is going to KO a lot of Pokemon in the game. So I am more than willing to take that risk that every other turn I'm going to be dealing 150 damage with my Alolan Exeggutor. So I love this card, I love this Pokemon. It deals a ton of damage and can KO a lot of Pokemon, not just regular Pokemon, but EX Pokemon as well. 150 is gonna tear through opponents. Now, along with that Alolan Exeggutor, what I like for the Execute is the one that has growth support, and this is gonna be found in the Mythical Island packs. The reason why I like the Execute is because it has growth support for 1 colorless energy. You take a grass energy from your energy zone and you attach it to this Pokemon. So what's great about that is if you do get your Execute out there, you attach an energy, you can have your Alolan Exeggutor ready to go in just a few turns. So you can deal 150 damage extremely quickly before your opponent is set up, which is gonna be awesome. Even if you don't get a KO on that first hit, the second hit, hopefully you can get that KO. Of course, it's a matter of luck. It's a 50-50. Some games you're gonna be doing really well. You might hit 3 heads and you're gonna KO through your team quickly. Other games, you may have 3 tails in a row. So depending upon how much luck you want to risk, this card is going to be great, and this combination is great. Execute with growth support is going to allow you to set up your Alolan Exeggutor quicker, so that's why I love this card paired with the Alolan Exeggutor. Growth support absolutely is amazing for this combination. And that Execute, again, Mythical Island packs. Now let's talk about the other Pokemon in this deck that's going to be dealing a lot of damage, the Meowscarada. If you've been playing this game for a little while, you already know about Meowscarada. It can tear through EX Pokemon. So let's talk about Meowscarada. Meowscarada for 2 grass energy has Fighting Claws, which deals only 60 damage. However, if your opponent's active Pokemon is a Pokemon EX, this attack does 70 more, so you can deal 130 damage to your Pokemon's EX Pokemon, which is absolutely insane. Meowscarada is going to be dealing 130 damage. Alolan Exeggutor has the chance of dealing 150 damage. This deck can completely catch enemies off guard and tear through your opponents. I love these 2 combined with each other. Meowscarada is going to be found in the Shining Revelry packs. Its evolution line, you have Florigato, which 2 grass energy for slash deals 40 damage, and your Sprigatito. Cry for help, which is actually really awesome. For 1 grass energy, you put 1 grass Pokemon from your deck into your hand. So if you do start off with a Sprigatito, you can get to one of those Pokemon that you need in your deck, which is absolutely awesome. The entire evolution line is in those Shining Revelry packs for Meowscarada. So I love these two combined with each other. They really deal a lot of damage to opponents. It's awesome. You have your Meowscarada who can KO EX Pokemon extremely quickly. And you have your Alolan Exeggutor that can really KO any Pokemon quickly, dealing for a potential of 150 damage. So now let's talk about some of the support cards. Pokeball, Professor's Research are pretty obvious. Professor's Research, you draw 2 cards. Pokeball, you put a random basic Pokemon from your deck into your hand. So you can gather your Pokemon even more quickly, so you can get to the Pokemon you need and put them out on the playing field. Like I said earlier, Alolan Exeggutor, Meowscarada, neither are EX cards. So if 1 goes down, if 2 go down, it doesn't matter too much. You're going to be able to play 3 cards into that active slot. So even if you lose 1, it's not going to be a huge deal like it is when you lose an EX card. So you do want to get all of your Pokemon into your hand and out into the playing field so you can power them up and they can be ready when one of your Pokemon are taken down. So that's what makes this even better, is you don't have to worry about losing 1 or 2 Pokemon because your third can be ready. The Alolan Exeggutor, whether you have 1 on the playing field or 2, you can keep putting them into the active slot, getting that chance of dealing 150. So what pairs really nicely with these 2 cards is red. I love red because it even takes out your stronger EX Pokemons even more quickly. The Alolan Exeggutor, if you pair up red with it, can deal up to 170 damage. Your Meowscarada can deal 150 damage. So what red does is during this turn, attacks used by your Pokemon do plus 20 damage to your opponent's active Pokemon EX. So you can take out the majority of Pokemon with red paired with either Meowscarada or Alolan Exeggutor. It's absolutely awesome. You can see my opponent has on the bench in this clip a Giratina. If one of those Giratinas has a cape on it, bringing its HP up to 170, I can one-hit KO that Giratina with Alolan Exeggutor plus red, which is absolutely awesome being able to do that. So I don't have to worry about a Pokemon even with its giant cape on. I can KO with Alolan Exeggutor the majority of Pokemon, EX Pokemon in the game. Meowscarada is just going to get past a few breaking points with red plus Meowscarada, getting it up to 150, which is great as well. If the Giratina does not have a giant cape, Meowscarada with red can one-hit KO it. So that's why I like red in this deck. It pairs really nicely with both of these 2 cards. The last 2 cards that I like, you can do a combination of these. I have 1 Poison Barb and 1 Leaf Cape, but if you want to go with 2 Leaf Capes instead of a Poison Barb and a Leaf Cape, or if you want to do 2 Poison Barbs instead of both of them, you can do that combination as well. But I like one of each because depending upon the situation, I may want one or the other. So let's talk about both of these cards. Leaf Cape. The grass Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 30 HP. That's absolutely awesome for both Alolan Exeggutor and Meowscarada. Alolan Exeggutor has 150 HP. That Leaf Cape is going to bring it up to 180, which is really nice because it can get it past some one-hit KO breaking points. And like I said, if a coin flip is 50-50, you want your Alolan Exeggutor out there for at least 2 turns because you have a better opportunity of getting that heads on one of your 2 turns. Meowscarada, same with Leaf Cape. Meowscarada has 140 HP, with Leaf Cape brings it up to 170. So that's really nice, again gets it past a couple of breaking points that it could potentially face. Dealing 130 and potentially 150 with red can get you those 2 hits that you may need to KO some of the stronger EX Pokemon in the game. Poison Barb is really nice because it forces your opponent to get their active Pokemon out of that active slot if you don't want to deal with it, or it's just going to eat away at your opponent over time. So what Poison Barb does is, if the Pokemon this card is attached to is your active Pokemon and is damaged by an attack from your opponent's Pokemon, the attacking Pokemon is now poisoned. So that's nice because poison can just eat away at your opponent's Pokemon. Let's talk about Meowscarada for a second. Let's say Poison Barb is attached to Meowscarada, and your Meowscarada is damaged by an attack. So of course, poison is going to eat 10 away at the end of your opponent's turn. So that's 10 extra damage your Meowscarada is doing. It's also going to eat away 10 at the end of your turn. So that's potentially 20 extra damage that your Meowscarada can be doing. Couple that with red, that's up to 170. Same can be true for Alolan Exeggutor. Coupled with red, you can now deal up to 190 damage. Of course, if you don't get KO'd and you're allowed to attack, but that is absolutely awesome, dealing even more damage to your opponents than they probably want to be dealt. Now, the Poison Barb, you're going to find that in Celestial Guardians Lunala, and your Leaf Cape, you're going to find in your Celestial Guardians Solgaleo packs. So you're going to have to open both packs to get either of these. But again, if you want the combination of just these two, you're going to have to do that. If you just want one or the other and pair up two, I'm okay with that as well. I just like both of them because they can be situational dependent. Depending upon how I want to approach the battle, I may want to equip one or the other, which is why I like the combination of these two cards in the deck. So that's the deck build. This is an absolutely awesome deck because, one, I don't have to worry about losing an EX Pokemon. Losing an EX Pokemon can completely shift the battle one way or the other depending upon who lost it. If you lose an EX Pokemon, it could shift the battle in favor of your opponent. If your opponent loses an EX Pokemon, it could shift the battle in your favor. So no EX Pokemon means if one Pokemon goes down, you haven't lost the battle. You can put one of these Pokemon in the active slot and start building up energy on the other Pokemon you may need to come in and finish off the battle if one of your Pokemon are taken out. So that's pretty awesome, is that you're going to have a lot of time to build up energy on your Meowscarada and your Alolan Exeggutors, and both can deal a ton of damage. 150 with a Alolan Exeggutor, coupled with red, goes to 170. If you attach a Poison Barb, it could be 190 or more if your opponent does decide to leave their Pokemon in that active slot after they're poisoned. Your Meowscarada deals a ton of damage to EX Pokemon. You have your 130 plus your red, which can be 150, and Poison Barb can potentially get it up to 170 or more. This combination deals a ton of damage, and you don't have to rely on an EX Pokemon. That's why I absolutely love this deck. Sprigatito is great for drawing grass Pokemon from the deck into your hand. The Execute that I have in this deck allows to build up energy quicker, so Alolan Exeggutor can attack extremely quickly and catch your opponents off guard. Of course, there is a little bit of drawback with this deck. Alolan Exeggutor is going to be a coin flip. It's either going to deal 150 or it's going to deal nothing. It depends on how much of a gambler you want to be. But me, I will more than welcome that risk because with its HP of 150, potentially coupled with Leaf Cape, most Pokemon in the game are not going to be able to one-hit KO Alolan Exeggutor. Most Pokemon are going to have to take at least 2 hits to KO Alolan Exeggutor. Granted, Charizard can one-hit KO it, but Charizard can one-hit KO any Pokemon in the game. However, if you can attack quicker than Charizard, you're going to be able to take out that Charizard, which is absolutely awesome. This deck can go toe-to-toe with a lot of different decks in the game. I absolutely love this deck. It does take a little bit of luck due to the coin flips, but it's been killing it for me. and it'll kill it for you as well. Let me know in the comments section what y'all think of this deck combination of Alolan Exeggutor and Meowscarada. Is this a deck you've been running? Is this something that you're going to run in the near future after watching this video? I absolutely love it, but what changes would you make? Are there different cards that you would switch out or potentially add to this deck to make it even better? I want to know that in the comments section as well. Are there any Pokemon you want to see deck combinations for? Let me know in the comments section. I have a couple more decks up my sleeve that I'm going to be coming out with soon, so be on the lookout for those. Again, if you did enjoy this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more Pokemon TCG content. It does really help out me and my channel. Thank you so much in advance for doing so. I do really appreciate it. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.